Hello, hello. We are here. Esther.
Hello.
She's never very close to the mic, but we are
Hello.
here.
I just
She's a little. There we go.
then it's like right up in my face.
That's the point. So 5 days at the gym for Esther in a row. How do you feel about it? Speak at length on the subject.
Whoa. I feel great.
Can you move your straw thing with the weird little topper on it? That's right.
Santa Claus. It's not. Ooh. It's not Santa time anymore.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna have to go back to Stitch.
It is not Santa time. Stitch.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, I feel great.
Stitch what?
Lilo and Stitch. I have a topper that's Stitch.
Oh, okay. No one else is gonna know that, so you would have to.
I had it on the last talk.
Oh, did you?
I don't know if I showed it to
Hopefully
the camera.
it wasn't in stream, in view.
Anywho,
Speak at length on the subject.
my
of
at
5
length
days at the
is
gym.
your summary size.
Don't bang on the table a bunch. That's where the cameras are.
Oh boy. Okay. I feel great.
Okay.
5 days.
Feeling great is good. I think it's 5, yeah.
So the first day I did whatever. The second day I upped it. The third and
Well, I know you were above that. What's on the
the
board
third
behind you.
and fourth day I did the same
But you did
on
more
the
today.
treadmill. But the other
You did
machines,
more.
I think I did more. And then today I did more. Again.
Even on the treadmill. Yeah, so
And
where'd you put what'd you do
today-
behind you?
And today all my soreness is gone.
So I was right,
that's
everybody.
nice.
It's not just me. Esther did experience soreness the first couple days, and then since she continued going and slightly increasing the weight or speed or distance that she did on treadmills or whatever, she has no soreness.
I'm sure I might be sort of
Wonder how that.
I did something new.
Not
and
if you
I
go
went,
tomorrow.
And I went up in weight on stuff, so we'll see. Okay, so I did 3.5 on
Sparkling
the
water.
on the tready.
Okay.
Incline 6. Still for an hour.
You inclined today?
I always.
Oh, wait. Well, you didn't the first day.
Correct. I didn't. The first
Oh,
day.
I didn't realize you were on an incline. Dang.
Yes.
She's doing
And I
very
was more sweaty, so it
good. More sweaty.
it put me to work. I do think I eventually will probably have to start like doing a jog.
Not just walk. Well, first get to the full incline. Well,
Oh, really?
No. Everybody, you don't have to do that, right? This is again what's interesting. I'm going for weight loss,
Exactly.
and Esther's
why
going for
not?
weight gain. Walking is good. Okay.
Then again, jogging might be fine, but running's
Would
hard
be
on
good for
your
your-
knees, and I have
for
bad
your
joints
joints,
already,
yeah.
so maybe I should just stick to walking. I just feel like
good incline walk.
eventually walking is walking, you know.
Well, think
so
about
I
it, it's
feel
still
but
good for
maybe
you.
maybe eventually I'll do it for 30 minutes and feel good
Yeah,
enough to
yeah.
go
People are
be by
gonna-
myself somewhere now
yeah.
that I'm
People are
a
going to
little
go
bit
crazy in the
more.
comments talking about this, that, the other thing. I'm doing it for weight loss. Okay. We were at the gym today for at least 2 hours. 1 hour
Mhm.
was the incline walking, and then a whole hour was pretty serious weight stuff. And Esther, for the first time today, picked something new and different of her own volition.
Mhm. So I think maybe as time goes on and I
You've got to
feel-
you've got to get your voice up a little bit. You got to bring it's going to be
I
bad for your
feel-
voice. It's
I
gonna
feel
be,
so
you feel
attacked.
You feel
I think
attacked.
I actually have damaged. I mean, maybe not damaged, but I think I have changed my voice because
Oh no, you always spoke like that. Oh no. Oh no. I took a drink.
No, because
most
my
of-
boss
Just came back from
years
the gym,
ago
so beard looks a little messed up.
at work, she was like, "Listen, you're slowly talking deeper and deeper, and I need you to go get checked because my brother had this condition."
Did you go get it checked?
And I didn't, and I was like, "No, it's just that I'm becoming more comfortable with you, so it's just me not
Using
doing
the
like a
actual voice.
fake voice." And she was like, "No, go ahead and get
Well,
checked."
what's interesting
anyway."
is people
But I didn't.
will
so-
mess up their own voice. I knew.
And I think I did because honestly, I feel like singing's a little more difficult for me than
singing.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
just a good singer.
not that it's difficult. I feel like my range is different than it used to be.
Well, that's guys' range changes, right? But then if you don't sing, yours could
Oh.
change as well. Like puberty, our men's voice
Right.
changes. Not that women's doesn't at all, but it's not the same.
Mhm.
And if you don't sing for a long time, and did you sing? Because you used to sing quite a bit, but you still sing all the
Yeah.
time, just
And
by yourself.
Correct. True. Yeah, I guess. But not like, I don't
No, you're not
necessarily try and
belting it out.
sing
Yeah.
well when I'm alone. Not that I sing bad, but I don't like, try super hard.
Well, you didn't ask me my review of your singing.
Oh, I'm going to still not ask. Anyway, so where was
Because
I
you'll
with
feel attacked.
was I with fitness?
Where I was.
Where I was with fitness. Oh, you know what I was thinking about? I put the weight up.
Here we go.
I put the weight up on one and I was like, ooh, yeah, cool, going up. And I was like, what the heck? I've been going for 5 days. I'm not stronger. So the weight that I put it at today, I could have done the first day if I really thought about it.
Okay, I was wondering where
doing
you
it.
were going to go with that. If you were going to say, well, why am I going higher at all? I should go back lower. But you were saying
No.
you went higher.
I should go higher. But
Right.
I was like, I most likely could have done this first day.
Oh, easily. But the
But
confidence.
it's good to ease into
Well,
it so you
but
don't like
also the
pull
confidence.
something.
What's cool is you're noticing that confidence is a huge part of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I've spoken to so many people about for a very long time. Don't you guys love all my ambiguous
Can I
statements?
have some of your water?
So many people I've talked to for so long.
Nice. Of all the people I love.
But so anyway, oh,
Ooh.
yeah, the mindset, right? So the mindset of these things that you're doing play a huge role in it. How you're feeling, and a great quote that I was reading the other day was the problem isn't the problem. The problem is your attitude towards the problem. And no, Jack Sparrow did not say that.
That's too bad.
It's really funny when you look it up.
'Cause he's
When,
the top G.
when you hear the quote, but then you like re-look it up, the first thing that pops up is all this stuff like it's from Pirates of the Caribbean, Caribbean or whatever you want to call it. And it's not. Supposedly, it's not. I don't know them like the back of my hand, but that's what I read. And people were like, "No, people say it's from this, but it's not." This person I was reading this thing, and it said, "I've watched all the first 3 movies because then there's a bunch, but they don't like the other
Oh
ones."
yeah, we don't.
People were like,
don't
"I
stay on
watched
the
the first
others.
3 ones each 50 times." Oh my
That's
gosh,
crazy.
that's insane. I don't
Listen, stuff is not enjoyable past like so many times. I mean, it is if you
only
leave
if you wait for a long time.
if you leave a
But
gap
50
because you
times,
start
what are they doing? Watching it
forget
once
stuff.
a month? How old was this person?
Yeah, if I watch something and I like know exactly what's gonna happen every second, then I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
bored.
not as into it. And some people really like doing that.
and unless I'm with somebody and it's something that I really like and I want them to see it, then it's
Oh,
like
100%.
whatever.
But even like
But-
some of the games that I've played that I really like, Elden Ring, Hollow Knight, these different types of games, people will speed run it and play it for hours every day, and they'll know exactly where to go, where everything is. I don't know. That doesn't keep it. No, it doesn't do it for me.
I mean, they have a goal in mind, so that's what keeps them
Right.
going. But
Ah.
oh man.
Oh, the goals in mind. No,
Anyways, but still, I mean,
right. If I was super speed, if I got into it, can I please have the water back? Like I brought the
No,
water.
I think I like it.
I brought the water for me, and then Esther just.
I didn't realize my Stanley was
okay.
mostly empty, so then I
Um,
also had food that I was supposed to be eating, but I ate it so fast that
I was gonna say you
I
already.
don't have it anymore.
Esther's going to the gym to gain weight. I'm going to the gym to lose weight. We are all
And
over
he's
the
such a
place.
nice husband, and he brought me to get Chipotle, even though he was not going to eat after the gym, and I scarfed it down right quick. I do feel like, which also, it could just be my mind, I do feel like I'm already more hungry.
Oh
Now that
no,
I
that'll
go
happen
every day.
instant. I feel like that would happen instant.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that could happen instant.
But I need to start. I still haven't really been doing like breakfast.
Breakfast is
morning.
good, especially for you because you'll eat more throughout the day if you eat when you
Exactly.
get up.
So I need to.
Well, I made you the best
I need
eggs
to
in the
do
world
that.
this morning.
Those were good.
Those were busting.
I didn't have very many of them though. I mean,
You had-
very much.
You had quite a bit. Cottage eggs, cheese, salt, pepper.
Cottage eggs. I mean, cottage
Cottage
cheese.
Relax, bro. Cottage eggs.
Yes,
That's what I'm gonna
those
call
two
it. No, that's what I'm
ingredients
gonna call it.
Created
No, that's
cottage
what I'm gonna
eggs.
call it.
Yes.
Cottage eggs.
Do it. Drop the recipe. Give us your whole life story on Pinterest.
Oh yeah, before any of the ingredients.
You wouldn't even know how fast I hit jump to recipe button. You can just
No, they made a
skip
button
it.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So some old women are sitting there reading it, and then people are like,
Who? I
No, that's what
just-
I'm wondering because people are
I
still
wonder.
writing it, so clearly
I
it's
wonder
working.
if anybody.
No, people don't do that for the fun of it. Let me tell you something. Anything
Let me
online,
tell you something.
anything online that people are trying to get a lot of clicks and a lot of views, they've practiced and they know. Something happened with SEO that made these people start putting in life stories, and that was getting them more views, without a doubt. No questions asked. But now it's annoying.
What could it? I mean, like who? I can't think of a single person.
My mom would sit
That
there
is
and
the
read the story of
correct-
what's her name? What's that
No,
girl? What's that
she
lady's
wouldn't.
name? What's that lady's name?
She wouldn't.
What's that lady's name? Western, whatever her name is.
Huh?
Food Network.
Magnolia. What are they?
No, not them. Not
Oh.
but yes, she
Oh,
likes
Chip
them.
and Joanna.
But I was thinking of that lady that lives on the ranch and all that. Boy,
no
we've been all over the
idea.
place. So what I wanted to get at,
Anyway, Gaines or whatever.
yeah, what I wanted to get at was that. Sorry, this is making me burp. Some of the best sparkling water you can get. Polar sparkling water. She when Esther said she likes it better when I talk to her. When you said that you were like, oh, I could have done this on the first day, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, why am I putting it up so soon? Let me put it back down. That's what I thought you were gonna say. Now, no, Esther's gonna go back to I'm feeling attacked. Because that's generally not your mindset or thought process. Advancing quickly or doing something new as fast as you can. So I thought you were going to say, but already you're kind of affecting and changing that in just a few days at the gym. And today you tried something new.
I've done it once.
Oh, you've done it before.
One time before.
No, sure. But I'm saying it was new to you at the gym today.
Yes.
And you had to go up to the counter and like ask. You know the guy there. We've known him for years. But you like asked him for the other thing. And the other day I said, go ask him something and you didn't.
Correct. It wasn't him. It was the other guy last time. But I think I would have today because I had already decided that I wanted to do that before we got there.
I hope you guys are noticing Esther's reactions and not thinking that I am like completely blowing her apart with all of my crazy.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want people to think like with us talking, I'm like, ooh, I don't like to think of somebody maybe getting the wrong idea, and I'm like, whatever. Who the heck
Yeah, it doesn't
cares?
matter. Yeah, no,
we know each other's intentions. Who cares if somebody thinks, oh, he hurt her feelings? Well, if you didn't actually, whatever.
And
they
those
can think
videos, those videos always get the most freaking clips.
I know.
And
I feel
everyone
like
likes to think we're fighting, and like not we, but
some people, probably most people, do certain things on purpose to get people to be like, oh,
100%.
And
well, like we had one clip the other day. Remember, I showed it to you, and it was we were talking about jackets and all that. I loved that video. It was so funny.
Oh, that's what made me think.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody's gonna be like, oh, how rude. He's so bad to her. And I was like, whatever.
And we're just well, I don't care what they think. So that was a different sort of mindset than what you would generally enter in with. And so I guess what we're talking about right now would be we're focusing in on doing something new. You can push yourself right away if you're comfortable doing it. But then also this mindset thing, and then that comment, the problem isn't the problem is your attitude towards the problem. And I mean that I would say would be a huge thing that was keeping you from lots of things for many, many years. So speak on that.
Yards.
What? I didn't. So speak on that for a minute. So many other clips are me talking all the time. So
sorry, you're gonna have to repeat what I'm speaking on.
I
was listening, but
no, of course you are. I said that it seems like we're focusing in on you were trying some new things and then very quickly became acclimated, at least to some degree. Much more than you were even the first day. It's been 5 days. So, I mean, that is quick. I would say that's quick. A lot of people wouldn't do that. And then second is we talked about the problem isn't the problem. The problem is your attitude towards the problem. And then I said, we know of you that that's something that has kept you from doing new things and having good experiences for quite a while. I mean, for a number of years. So I wanted you to speak on what did you...
I'm so sorry.
Now
years.
She keeps getting.
Anyways, let me
off track because.
Let me speak.
But she told me to re-say it.
Let me speak on.
Speak on it at length. Write something down.
Please stop saying that, bro. Speak on it. Condense, please.
No.
Literally, I would write papers for school, and then I was homeschooled, so my mom would give them back and say, "Stretch that out a whole nother page."
It's
and I
too
was
short.
like, "No, I'm conveying the idea in the amount that is necessary."
That is so cool.
And she was like, "No, it needs to be 2 pages."
A phenomenal thing, and there'll be multiple that I think that we focus in on. Literally, just Esther and myself. But we were both homeschooled through high school. Never went to a normal school type thing. You did some college stuff, but it was never. They were courses. You never went for a degree. You didn't care about any of that. No. So both Esther and I homeschooled through high school. I've worked at many schools, which is funny.
One of us, the generic homeschool student. One of us, not so much.
Right. No, exactly. Esther is who you would have been like, oh, this kid's homeschooled. Right? But it's interesting because homeschoolers and then also only children sometimes get grouped into this. They can't communicate and all this stuff. But you were homeschooled, but you're the youngest of 7. So that was a little interesting how introverted and how quiet and how unable to do certain things.
Well, I feel like even more so as a youngest person, you would be that way.
But with that many siblings?
I had that many siblings.
What about being around your older siblings' kids?
To order for me when we go places.
What about being around your oldest siblings' kids? Were you a good aunt or did you not do anything with them?
Again, there's 6 other people that are like, oh, I don't know, I want to do this.
So
I want to change up. I want to do
You
this.
don't feel like you experienced being a young aunt because some people feel like
I kind of did because me and the sister right above me used to hang out with the oldest sister and her husband and kids fairly often. They'd come over and watch us if parents like went on vacation, they'd come and stay with us. We'd go and stay with them.
So how was
for like a week at a time? They'd take us camping, just me and my sister and them.
No, but did you feel like you were along for the ride, or were you feeling like, oh, I can help these kids do?
I felt like a kid at the time because I was an aunt at 7 or 9, I think.
Right, but some people, especially girls, and from stories and experiences of people that have told
Not me.
Okay, that was
buddy.
I
don't know if I ever even changed a kid once.
Okay.
Have I changed a kid in my life?
I don't know.
Oh boy,
we don't have any kids yet, so
I probably did once. They probably were like, "Oh, you should
try it or something."
Yeah, I think I did once.
Interesting.
So that's crazy. Anyways,
we've jumped around so much.
What was the main?
Yeah, so the main thing that you were supposed to speak on at length was
I feel like there was something.
We're gonna make a shirt. We're gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna wear. Speak on that at length, and you're gonna say. Can you condense that? We were specific.
Can you wrap it up or something?
Yeah.
Wait. Before I lose my thought.
But we're trying
to
get back
something. I know there was something with the siblings that I also wanted to speak on. Oh, even like when we would play, sometimes I would ask to just watch the older kids play. I didn't want to play with them.
You didn't want to interact.
I just sat and watched them play a game.
You had to do something else. You had the toy with you or something. You would just watch.
I remember.
And you were happy.
Many times. And it wasn't like playing a board game watch. They'd literally be playing like with Barbies and like, talking to each other. And
Sisters.
I just sit there and watch.
That's intriguing.
But then I also played
like nowadays people would kind of do that because they just kind of want to sit and be on their phone. I mean, I've done it. Like, oh, do you want to do this kind of in-depth kind of board game? And I'm like, nah, Brian. But I'm not just gonna sit there and watch. Then I would play. But you're saying.
But then I did play eventually.
You didn't have
obviously,
a device like that when you were young. I mean, you were watching off an iPad, were you?
When I'd watch, it was like I was. Maybe they wouldn't really want me to play. Maybe I was too young to.
You made it sound like
for them to
you asked that.
I know, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was just one. Because then I do recall playing, but I only played with my one sister. I don't have any memories of like playing
very interesting
like a game or like made up stuff with other siblings.
I guess.
Anyways, let's all the way back.
Well, but that's
to
funny.
What I was
but let me speak a little bit. Let me speak a little bit on that now that you're commenting on playing with siblings. So I was the middle child, and I was also the middle of the grandkids of our family, and we all did stuff together always, the cousins. So there was 5 of my direct siblings. I was the third. There was 9 grandkids, and I was right smack dab in the middle of that as well. And in looking back, I really enjoyed that experience. Obviously, there was things during it. I thoroughly enjoyed it during it as well. But I would be like, I want to do stuff with the older kids, and sometimes they were like, nah, fam. And then the young kids would be like, do stuff with this. I'm like, I'm trying to do stuff with the older kids. But I really enjoyed making games. I would make games, board games, music. I would have this full in depth. I did this one where it was a roller coaster, a fake roller coaster with my 2 little brothers, and I'd put them in a laundry basket, and I put a blanket over their head, and then I would pull the laundry basket in certain ways, and I would shake it, and I would go, okay, we're going up. They absolutely loved it. And a big one that both my younger brothers remember is Ogre Sports. So
classic.
Very classic. Ogre Sports, I created all these little guys. They popped up. I made like little pop-up cards, things, and dice. I loved making paper dice where you cut it and then you tape it. You put up all the sides into it, and then I would put all these signs on it, and you'd roll it, and we saved it over time. They would have money that they earned in these games, and I'd write it all down in a notebook. Then when I got a laptop, we made video games in there. Oh gosh. So I really enjoyed playing with the younger siblings. That's as long as I was like creating or making something for them to do. That was always a really fun thing. I would play music and tell them scary
Sounds
stories.
about right
Yeah.
for your character.
Yeah, that's something I've done for a long time. So, okay, wrapping back around.
We're gonna get there.
We were going to talk about.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
So should I repeat it or no?
Nah.
Okay. She's ready this time. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Get into it.
I feel like I have been this way with the gym, like being excited about progressing and stuff, which is not usual for me. Because I am quite, I mean, I don't know if I can say this, having not worked out consistently for the past like year at least, I'm into fitness.
No, 100%.
So,
yeah.
Like,
you've been into healthy
obviously,
eating. You've been into
yeah.
fitness. You've taken classes and courses. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. That's
So that's probably why I'm progressing quicker than in other things, because usually things that I am supposed to or am wanted to by you or anybody else to
Mhm.
progress in is stuff that's
Right.
like not my niche, because I don't really have a lot of niches, but but that's why. So what I need to get out of this, besides keeping it up and getting healthier, is the ability to take how I've interacted and the positive things that I've seen from that and put it into other things, which is going to be hard because,
Right.
again,
The thing that
I'm
you're
into
kind of
fitness
interested
and I want
in
to progress
is
in that, and I
easier.
want to get stronger and stuff.
So
but
how
other
are you?
things I might
Well, but
not
so as
be
you can
so
see
excited
again,
for.
and
But
even you,
what I'm saying is I need to just look at the other positive things that have come from the gym,
Right.
like wanting to eat better.
right?
Multiple times, literally. It's been 5 days, which is
Sure.
pretty crazy.
But I'd rather have
But-
you be excited about it and be like, oh, look how many days I'm gone. That's gonna make you want to go more.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I've already had, like we said, the eating has already, my
Right.
mindset has changed on that, and I'm like,
Yes.
ooh, healthier stuff.
But
since I'm
also,
doing
let's
this.
be very fair.
And then also, hang on before I lose my thought.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Multiple days I've come back and I've been like, oh,
I have to eat.
no,
Oh.
that. But I'll be like walking the door and I'm like, oh, there's dishes in the sink.
Mhm.
I'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And like the bathroom
100%.
garbage is so tiny and it always fills up hecka fast. It's super annoying. But I'll usually let like 3 days go by of me being like,
Super
really
full.
got to take that out. And then I come home from the gym and see it. And I was like, you know what? That'll take me literally 10 seconds to do. I'm just going to go empty it.
No,
Real quick.
100%. I've noticed even in the 5 days that you have more energy. You're not as tired, and we actually stay up later as well, which probably isn't necessarily good. But
we
we've
might need to start going early
Well,
once I go back to work.
so
I
the
was,
other right.
I was
The other
like,
thing that I wanted to
because I'm not
comment-
getting tired in bed.
Right.
We lay there for like an hour, and I'm like, I'm still not really tired.
Right. The other thing that I wanted to comment on and make sure we talked about at least a little bit, I mean at length, of course, is let's be fair, right? I was asking you to come to the gym for probably 3 months, and you would say you're going to go, and then you wouldn't. Right. So what's very important for us to grasp right now, and I put some things up here, but this focused more on the attitude's the problem rather than something else. Because now we're on something that's a little bit different. I was asking you to go for months, and you already had a membership, and I was going, and we're going at similar times that I went.
Yes, true.
What changed, and why are you going now?
Honestly,
'Cause I asked you to go for a long
what
time.
finally made me be like, okay, I'm just gonna go, is that we were on break.
Right.
and I
Okay.
didn't have
And that's what I thought the answer was going to be, and that's good and bad, right?
because we
this
don't
is-
want me to go back to work in
Right.
next week and
Right.
then have me stop, which I don't think I will if we continue doing the evenings. But also,
Well, originally you asked me not to do. Well, you actually. Went back and forth.
I
You
asked
went
you
back and
not to
forth.
do evenings
But then you asked me not to do mornings.
when I didn't go with you, because then I would miss you.
Actually, just asked me not to go at any time.
No, I
No, I'm
would
just
I
kidding.
would like you to go in the morning
Yes,
when
I-
I didn't go with you, because
you're asleep.
Because then it's like I wasn't missing
Right.
anything. 'Cause
Go
I
very early.
either sleeping or going to
It
work.
does open
anyway.
at like 5 a.m. It's not 24 hours.
So, what I should probably do, which will help with what I was saying of trying to move over the positive stuff into something that I don't really like, because I
Right.
know that it'll create good things. And what we should probably do is when I go back to work, pick a day, start with one, please, to go before I go to work, because I
Ooh.
can now tell myself,
On which day?
we've seen that
Oh, you're just trying to get up earlier.
I have energy after working out, so
Okay.
it will
I see.
probably
I mean,
make
obviously,
me
I want you
more-
to, but I really
more energetic at work,
it's gonna be hard for you to do.
and it'll get me.
You
My
start at
day will feel
7:45.
longer,
You start at 7:45,
and then
on
we
those
won't
days.
have to like take up our time, which I wouldn't mind anyway because I'm
It's
enjoying it. So
Right, and it's
I don't
useful.
think I'm gonna
It's a
be
good
like
use of
once
time.
we're back, be like, oh no, but I want to do something fun because we're not trying to eat out.
Right.
We're not trying to spend a bunch of extra money doing other activities. So I think it's literally a perfect thing for us to do after work anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're not gonna hear a complaint from me.
to like pick maybe one day to start
Yeah.
with and do it early because I know you usually prefer to go early.
I don't I just want to make sure I go. I don't really I wasn't going very often early unless I went with somebody, which could be going with you. See, I was going with another gym. He goes to a different gym now, so it was like
because
so I stopped going for a while,
so maybe actually
which was on me.
maybe forget me. maybe leave me. No, maybe not do it on the days that I go to work early because that gets me up
not
early
in the morning,
anyway.
Not in the morning. Still doing those
Yes.
days, but just not in the morning.
Yes.
Do those at
maybe
night.
do
Monday,
it on
Friday
the days
morning.
that I don't have work so I
Tuesday,
can
Wednesday,
convince
Thursday.
myself even more because I'll be like, well, if I'm tired, I'm just home all day anyway, so I'll be fine. And then
I'm not against that. So keep thinking
that
about
would be
that.
better, I feel like.
Because I have no
maybe.
preference, really. I mean, if you told me to get there at 5 a.m. and you were there, you know I would not
Correct.
miss a beat. I would be there.
I think that.
It'd be hard for me to go at 5 a.m. completely on my own because we saw that, but I never missed.
But I think if we do Monday,
Missed
Friday, early, or one of those to start,
Okay.
I think I'll be able to convince myself because I don't have normal like drive to work. I'll be working from home, and then you won't be rushed if you have to get to work because you have some early days.
Yeah.
Because then you don't work early those days either.
Right.
And it'll get me up early those days because now that I don't have something,
Now,
when I don't have something
sadly,
scheduled, I cannot get myself.
Don't hit the table.
So sorry. I cannot get myself out of bed if I don't
It's
have
difficult.
something
It's
that's
difficult.
like gonna be a
with no
phone call
plans.
of somebody being like, "Where are you at?"
No plans. No. Yeah. Exactly. No goals.
I have no self.
Now the sad thing is, and gladly this has never happened before in my businesses, but I don't have someone to teach those days, so I will be working when I wasn't working before on Tuesday
what do you
and
mean?
Thursday. I'll be working till about 5 or 6 on Tuesday
Oh,
and Thursday.
that's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you think that's fine because I don't.
I mean, I don't. I'm not excited about
Right,
it.
you
But
don't
you
want
said
me
it was
to.
not forever.
Hopefully
it's
it's
just until
only
you
for
can
January.
find somebody.
Hopefully it's only for January. Yeah.
But we can just go evening.
Yeah, and that was out of my control. And I'm
Those
happy to
days.
deal with it and work on it. Out of the times that I've been running these businesses, I've never really had to cover except for like one. I mean, that's huge for the type of business that it is. So I'm not complaining about it at all. But it's a time that I'll be working for a while that I haven't for a while.
I low key still feel hungry,
You should eat something.
but I feel like I might get like sick feeling if
Yeah.
I keep eating. But my stomach does not feel
that
full.
you probably don't want to completely overdo super quick.
Yeah, especially because it's
so
late.
I did like
It'd be great to go in the morning and then come home
yes.
hungry. And
Yes, I did
start
like
off my day
speaking on that,
eating.
and I would like kind of like to stay on it, but we're just kind of hopping around a little bit, which is good. But I guess I want you for the next. We still have quite a bit. We have an amazing schedule, so we have this huge long break where we're not really doing anything.
I only
and
have
then
2
we've
days left for me before I go back to work.
Not really.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Tuesday I don't.
Oh,
work.
you're on Tuesday. You work.
I mean, yes,
Then
I do
3.
work Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
I
then
work
2.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week.
so-
But you don't because school's not back.
Right. So I just want to make sure you don't lose this thought process of how are we going to keep it going. So write something down. I know you started writing some stuff down the other day.
On my phone, yeah.
So write some stuff down just to keep it at the forefront of your mind about like how are we going to keep this going? Because I'll do anything at any time. It won't affect
I
me.
honestly am not feeling
Worried
like
about it.
I'm gonna
Well, that's
not
good, but
want
you
to
still want to write it down,
because of the fact that you're trying to lose weight,
right?
so we can't go out and eat.
Well, we still do here and there, but we just get smaller amounts, less things. I'd
Yes,
rather not
but
go.
we're-
Though.
yeah,
I'd
we're
rather
trying
not
to-
go.
we're trying
We
to
talked
not
about it actually.
Do that because that's usually how we fall back into it. I
Yeah.
feel like because you've several times
Yeah.
been on diets, and then once you're like
100%.
lower, then I'm like, oh, now we can
Right,
go.
and exactly.
So, anyways, what was I saying? Sorry,
know.
I'm a little bit.
So I want to now go back to speaking on, and then I want you to come up with something that you want to bring up about me, so people don't think I'm always harping
And
on
speak out. on length.
At length. So I want to at length. So I want to talk more about the problem isn't the problem. The problem is your attitude towards the problem. And so there's some
Are
questions
you talking about me or just in general?
You
okay,
specifically.
great.
Is that a problem? Sure.
No, I was just checking.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about you specifically. But now I have some. I wrote some stuff down over here, but we'll start with this. Can you describe the strategies or tools you use to overcome having a scared attitude and or introversion?
Whoa, introversion. Didn't know that was a word. Sorry. What? Read the start of it again?
Sure. Can you describe the strategies or tools you use to overcome a scared attitude and or introversion?
You know what's funny? Sorry. This is kind of on topic.
Go ahead.
I just clicked like a random show to start while on our first day at the gym because I was like, I don't want to stand here looking through because usually if I'm
just click something.
picking a new movie or a show,
you're not super paying attention to it.
Yeah, so I just clicked on one and it's literally about this girl who has severe, what's it called? Social anxiety and can't communicate. And I was
interesting.
Like, me?
Is that what you thought? That's important.
Yeah.
That's important to this story. So you were watching this video randomly. You clicked it, and it's talking about a young girl who has problems with social anxiety, and your mind.
Literally,
wait, and your mind was like, "This is me."
My mind was like, "This was me in the past," even though I still struggle
Whoa,
with that.
whoa,
But
no,
much
this is
less.
even better. This is even better. This is great. I'm glad we're talking
And
about
it
this.
was even more so because people looked at her, and because she like was, I don't want to say pretty because
Go ahead. Hey, you're extremely pretty.
sound
Go
vain.
ahead. Go ahead.
But like because she carried
Look, she doesn't have
herself-
makeup on. She just came back from the gym. Look at her
I
skin.
know I look busted.
No, you don't. You don't look
Anyways,
busted.
because
You
she
look
carried
good.
herself well and like looked pretty and elegant and like together, people thought, "Oh, she's so popular. She's so cool," and she was like terrified. And then a couple people, not a lot, through the show. I've been watching it for every time now.
Yep.
Oh,
oops.
a couple of them. Oops, a couple of them are like, "Oh, she just thinks we're not cool enough or something," because she wouldn't talk to them, but they didn't know that she wanted to talk to them and she was friendly, but she just couldn't communicate. So sometimes it even comes off as like, "Oh, they think they're too cool for us," which I think happened to me.
You feel like that happened. That was an experience that you had.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, that just was funny that I started watching that at the gym, and then it was kind of like me. Anyways,
No.
and
Anyways,
it's kind of what your question.
No, it's exactly what my question was. So this is. I think it's awesome.
Anyways, but the question was my strategies and like what I do, which I don't feel like I have.
Have, future, present, past.
I feel like my strategy and my tool is you, because you push me to do stuff. And like the first day of the gym, I literally was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait in the car. I'm not.
Oh, I saw that on your face, bro.
And then,
I would have been extremely upset.
And then instead, I was like, we'll just start with the treadmill because I know I can do that. And I know that.
Well, and not only that.
I asked to not start with the treadmill because I hate it and it's super boring.
And now she's done it every time and liked it.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified to do this other stuff. Let's just start with that. And then I was like,
and I happily went over there and switched with you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Awesome.
Didn't get mad at my horrendous attitude.
Oh, I was mad. I mean,
for
sure.
Didn't externally get mad at my bad attitude.
I could have reacted better. I don't think you should.
I don't think so.
I don't think you should try to minimize.
You were like, sure, let's not start with that.
But we're not minimizing.
Literally every time you've gone, you start with that.
But we're not minimizing anything that you did, so we shouldn't minimize anything that I did. You were like, hey, can you show this to me? And I was super short, and I was like, I'm not going to show that to you.
Yeah, you just did it, and then we're like, do it.
And
you saw me do it.
Go ahead, do it.
Which is fine.
Well, it's
not ideal. True.
Right, it's not ideal. That's what I'm saying.
Again,
so I don't want you to. I don't want you to try to.
In my mind, I always jump to like being understanding because I'm like, well, I had a crappy attitude.
Well,
so he has a crappy attitude.
I'm also not gonna.
I had it first. Whatever.
I'm also not gonna lie that I think in that situation that you were more in the wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that we were 100 without it sounding weird. I wouldn't say that we were 100% equal in that transaction of who made it a more difficult situation.
Right.
But I also wouldn't say that I wasn't included.
You could say that maybe you could have like babied me more right off the bat because
well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
At all, you could have walked in there and been like, "Hey, let's do this. This is gonna be real easy for you."
Right.
Blah blah blah. But
But yet,
but again, after asking me to come for 3 months and me saying, "Oh yeah, I'll come,"
well,
then
and
not,
also I asked you to do the treadmill first, which I knew would be something that's just kind of get it going. And then you
correct.
said no. You said to go to the weights, and then you were like, "No, I'm not even going to do them now." And I was like, "What are you talking about? You asked to come over here."
Because I still despise
Well, you
that
were
it's
totally
like
fine.
4 corners
And there's a bunch of people just right
of
there.
different things, and
Yeah.
there's just somebody freaking right next to
Every
you,
time.
and that stresses me out because I have been somebody in the past, like the classes that we talked about on the
Mhm.
other episode,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, this is the good form. Look at what she's doing. And then
Right.
in the gym, I feel like I don't know how to do anything.
Sure.
And being that close to somebody and doing
That's
something
good.
that
Get
I
up
don't
there,
know.
fail, mess up.
Yeah, I know. But
So that's what I'm trying to focus in on a little bit, is that as you continue to get rid of some of these older thoughts, and that's why I'm trying to focus in on here, scared or introverted type of things, because I think it's held you back from many things that you could, would, should do. And then what is so important is taking the experience you had in one situation. When you talked about at the beginning, how are you going to take this thing that you've been doing during this time with the gym and get it into other areas? And that's what I'm trying to do.
You know, another
if you sit
area
here and focus in on it, and tell yourself, what happened during this? Like I use that word transaction. 2 people were involved, you and me. Doesn't matter who it was. It's not mean or rude to bring it up. It's important to talk about it. You have this transaction of 2 people. One person been trying to get you to come. Once they're there, they weren't extremely nice about it, but they got you there. They've been asking you to come for a long time. They just want you to finally get into it because it's been a long time. And then you get there and you ask to do it a certain way, and they are even like, okay, we'll do it your way. And then you still weren't interested. Like clearly that person's going to be a little bit like, they shouldn't be. That person should be able to just be like, no, at least they came. I asked you to come. So now you came. So really it was more of an equal transaction, and I should have been more like, but it had been a little while.
Yeah.
If you would have come the first, you see, and so anyway, if you want this to spread into the other areas, this is how you're going to be able to do it, is talking about it like this.
I did just think of something similar that actually happened before the gym. That's an area that was very difficult for me that I've improved
And
on.
is this going to be a tool, or what are we talking about now?
Not necessarily a tool, but just another instance where I dealt with something that I very much struggle with and was able to just tell myself, you know what, whatever, just do it. Which is in our small group.
Okay.
I despise praying out loud because I feel like because I have social anxiety, even though like by myself I can pray well in whatever that consists of. And I could pray out loud. Sometimes I have, but not usually, because just what's the point?
When you're by yourself?
Yeah, when I'm not by myself. So I literally, every time I have to pray out loud, I'm like, my heart's racing and I get so scared just because I feel like I want to be able to communicate well.
Which doesn't matter,
and it's difficult too when you're socially scared. But that's something that I have been able to, inside of our group, just be like, you know what? Who cares? Nobody's going to be like, you sounded dumb on your prayer. You like paused a couple times. So because the group is so like welcoming, I felt like I was able to do that.
Well, remember,
and because it's something that I can do on my own, and I know that I can like form thoughts and good verbiage when I'm by myself, then I'm like, okay, so I'm capable of doing it, and it's just that I'm scared that makes me not be able to.
You found out,
so I was able to just be like, you know what, whatever.
So you were able to know that you were capable of doing said thing on your own. So maybe a tool is figure out that you can do it on your own first.
Because like with me with the social anxiety, I know that I can do that. Like I have friends that I can communicate fantastically with.
Oh yeah.
And I can communicate with you.
Sure.
But still, every time I go into a setting that's not like,
well, so how are you going to change
normal
that?
For me, like a big group of people I don't know, it's still frightens me. So I was able to do it with the praying.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily feel like I do that with a whole experience of the group. Like I don't walk in there and be like, you know what? I'm scared to talk to people, but I'll just go up and say hi to that person. I still struggle.
Esther has become more extroverted and I have become more introverted over time. I would more so be a person that would go into a large group of people and just say, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" Haven't done that. And I actually feel bad about it. Like I don't, like I actively
And I
think,
wonder if
I actively think about it and be like, well, why haven't I done that? That's something that I'm not.
And I wonder if it's the change in both of us is because of each other. I
Oh,
wonder if
100
you've
well,
become more secluded because you're like, oh, well, I don't want to leave Esther because she's going to be nervous on her own. So I'll just be with her.
100%. That's exactly
and
what I
then
think it is.
you drag me around. Well,
You don't think?
not drag me around. I like follow
Well,
you
from your
around
hair,
when you're
from
talking
your
to
hair.
people.
I grab the ponytail or whatever. This right here. I grab this, and you're just on the ground.
So yeah, I feel like that's
No, 100%. And I think it's been positive, but sadly, and I think I'm wrong about this. I don't think I'm right about this. I just think extrovert is better.
Mm.
And you think introvert is worse, even though you're an introvert.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's how you've been speaking about it. That's how you've been speaking about it during this
Well,
time.
just
Or
for
did
my-
I paint it negative? Did I?
I mean, I guess you're right. I guess I would consider extrovert being better.
And I'm saying I don't think that's correct.
I think it is though, because but it's also like they're complicated terms that are used
Way
too
too simplified.
simply.
They're way too
because
simplified.
introvert, in the sense of like you gain energy and like
Right.
have
By
peace
something.
or whatever when you're by yourself. That's fine.
introverted,
There's
right.
nothing wrong with that.
Recharge. You recharge and you get more excited and more whatever when
Yes.
you're by yourself.
But
right, there's
if
nothing wrong
it's
with that.
if it's to the extent of being introverted that you
Right.
can't communicate with other
Right.
people or
Right.
you like come off
Right.
rude by
Right,
accident,
because
or
those
that,
words are too simple.
then I think that's negative.
Extrovert
but-
is when you go out and you talk to people, you're more excited, ready to go, prepared. Obviously, I'm still an extreme extrovert.
Yes.
Clearly, I get super hyped whenever I'm talking to anybody about
and
anything.
there's things that can be negative about that.
Of course, you need people to get going. You need some
But
sort
I
of
think
conversation.
it's easier. Well, I couldn't really say that. I was gonna say I think it's easier to
But
correct
that's
those
why.
things
But
than the other.
But that's why I also threw that word in there, kind of scared, kind of a timid attitude, because now timid is negative,
Mhm.
scared is negative. Introvert, not necessarily, but a mixture of scared and introvert. Now you've got a problem.
Mhm.
Now you've got an issue because you don't just recharge.
And I feel like if you talk to, I mean, and I couldn't say this, but the few that I've talked to and my own experience, if you talk to introverts, it's usually out.
If you keep hitting that pen on that shirt, it's gonna get blue on it from what you've erased. It hasn't yet, but if you keep,
I don't think so. Anyways, if you talk to enough introverts,
Mm.
myself included, it's usually based off of fear. So that's why I was.
No, see, I think
that's-
I think you're wrong about that. I
No,
think it's
in
your
the
limited
sense of-
knowledge of the people that you've talked to that would call themselves introverts are timid introverts. They're people that also have
Now I do know somebody that calls themselves an extroverted introvert,
correct.
which is that feels correct
So
about
people
them.
started-
and that I feel
people
like is a positive thing because
People started
they just
getting
recharge by themselves, but they can still communicate. Sorry, go ahead.
no, exactly. People started getting more. They wanted to get more nuanced because this word was being used so much, which great. So they have introvert, extrovert, introverted, extrovert, extroverted, introvert. They have
Oh
these.
my goodness!
I know. I
You
kept
know
telling
what did happen?
Yeah,
the
the
entire label
came
came off.
So
That's crazy.
this started happening. What am I talking about? So
Sorry.
what started happening was then they were like, okay, let's get these. So introvert, someone that recharges their batteries when they're by themselves, when they have alone time. Extrovert, someone that recharges their batteries when they're with people. My mom, we would talk for hours, and then she's like, I gotta go take a nap. She would literally go to her room and lay down.
But she's
and then I'd be
great
like-
at communicating and does not have the fear aspect.
100%, 100%. She's not a timid person, but she would like to be alone to recharge. So mom would be an extroverted introvert. She wants to be by herself. She wants to recharge. She wants to have some time, but she can talk to anybody. So again, which is an issue of mine, is I want to put them on some scale of best to worst. And then I want to find the people that I would say, and I don't want to call people worst. I treat everybody equally. But I want to change. I want to help them. I want to change what they've done. I mean, you've already said it yourself multiple times that I changed your outlook on many things, but positive in your mind. Never done perfectly because I'm not perfect, but a positive end goal. Embracing change can be daunting, Can you speak to the importance of embracing discomfort in the pursuit of personal growth?
Mm.
I'll read it one more time.
Yeah,
I know you
good.
like to hear it
Thank
twice.
you.
Embracing change can be daunting. Can you speak to the importance of embracing discomfort in the pursuit of personal growth?
I mean, I think we've been discussing that.
Right. I hope
Um,
it's just a little more defined and makes you think a little bit
Yeah.
different. I mean, that's what I hope.
But I feel like, again, tying into a past episode of when we were talking about wait, what is it? Complacency and what was the other one?
Contentment and complacency. How can you
Yes.
have both or not
If
have
you don't
one?
if you don't embrace like the importance of working on stuff, then you're complacent and you're not going to get better at anything. If you have this fear of working on stuff that you struggle with, you're just going to stay the same.
Mhm.
And if anybody's staying the same, it's a problem. You should be, people always are like, in like shows or whatever, they're like, oh, you changed. Good, great.
Nah, well,
Sure,
it could
it's
be a bad
usually
change.
like,
Yeah,
yeah. But if you're
Um,
not changing, that's a problem.
One of the
If
questions.
years have gone by and you're not looking back, which I feel like every year I'm like, dang, I was so dumb last year.
Oh,
Which I'm
negative.
just,
negative.
not that I am, but just like certain things where I progress, I'm like, dang, that was me back then when I couldn't blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that most years. I'd have to think about if I feel like that this year. 'Cause
One
we're
of the
about to go into
questions
a new
which we
year.
just specifically talked about, it's just phrased as a question now, so I'm going to read it, but we already talked about it, but I want, this is how important this is. What role did self-reflection play in understanding and challenging the beliefs that held you back? So exactly what we're doing here. Just take yourself out of the situation and talk about it without negativity or demeaning the other person. This is what happened. This is just what happened. It's not an issue. I'm not mad. You're not mad. But you also shouldn't be mad if it's brought up because it's not. This is just what happened.
Mhm.
And now you get to reflect on it and it gets to do it. So you were already specifically actively doing this with the gym. How can I now think about how I felt about this? And then I tried to get you to dive a little bit deeper on that and be like, well, it actually took a very long time. So what even is it that changed you? And then it was as simple as free time. Now that's good and bad because you don't always have free time. So how are now you're going to
And
take?
that can be very bad because a lot of people are like, oh, I would do this if I just had the time.
How
But
are-
nobody has the time.
How are you going to take these
You
feelings?
need to just
Yeah,
make the time.
How are you
Because
gonna take-
You do have time. You just don't prioritize certain
exactly. So how are you going to take these feelings and do it when it's more difficult? And then it's exactly what we talked about another time, which is doing it when it's easy isn't special.
things. Yeah, and it's hard to know. Like, we can sit here and have the conversation, and that does help tremendously. But it's hard to, in the moment when something unrelated and hard comes up, to remember that conversation and be like, oh, this might be that thing.
But it's not the more you do it.
Correct.
It's all
This is
muscles that you exercise.
This is a step to do
Exactly.
that. But for me, I feel like I see the connection after I've overcome that struggle. So I'll struggle. I can struggle
right.
with this new thing for like a month, and then once I finally do it, I'm like, oh, look, that's similar to this. But it's hard for me to connect the dots quickly enough to not have a delay.
I made this game that I would play with students because I was very upset. I was driving for a summer camp, so there's a bunch of students in the back, and I was trying to
I
just
think I remember what you were going to say.
I think I was just trying to talk to them and have a conversation, maybe like a sibling would or a parent to it. Just a con like, hey, how's it going? And these kids, they wouldn't, and they knew me. They wouldn't really. They had nothing to say.
Or they'd like answer yes, no.
Yeah, and so I said, guys, I said, you really don't know how to have a conversation. And these kids were 8, 7.
It was a range because it was a summer camp, so it was a range.
But they were there were some of the younger kids, and I was just like, I was upset. I was very upset. I was like, you guys do not, and people have always made this joke, and I like it. People are like, why do you talk to these kids like they're adults? Now, not in a bad way, but like just very serious with them and just very like nonchalant. I'm not gonna go, hey, no,
Yeah.
no.
There's no baby voice. With
Yeah,
this
there's no.
man. But
And I said,
usually
guys,
men don't do
I said, you guys really don't know how to have a conversation, and it's gonna hold you back in life. This is not a good thing. You have to know how to have a conversation. I said, okay, we're gonna make it a game, And I said, you get points for doing it. And I said, you can do it as simple as possible. I made it as simple as possible for them. I said, I'm going to ask you what you had for breakfast. You're going to tell me, and then you're going to ask me what I had for breakfast. And you're just going to do the polite thing, which is basically asking the person the same thing back. How are you? I'm good. How are you? It's the most simple conversational skill. And these kids, it's not that they didn't have it. I don't want to put this big blanket statement that these kids didn't know at all what was going on. They're driving to a summer camp thing. They're trying to just chill. They probably thought I was being overdoing it, right? But then I turned it into a game. It became fun. They liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids, they started having a conversation. And they started saying way more stuff than they thought they would. Yeah, sure, there were still some that would just ask the same questions and over, but they would get points the longer they held the conversation. How do you hold a conversation? I came up with all the questions. They just had to ask the same question back. So it wasn't difficult for them, but I ended up talking to some of the kids for multiple minutes. Some of the students, multiple minutes, we had a conversation. And before it was 5 seconds. And when I met Esther, that was how the conversations went as well. It was, how are you? Good. There was no, I'm good. How are you? That didn't happen. That wasn't natural for her. And so, of course, I was upset. I was upset that she wouldn't have this conversation. She didn't know how to have a conversation. Then I found out she wasn't really taught how to, and siblings didn't help her do it. Parents didn't help her do it. And she just didn't really know how to have these conversations. So we did points, and no, I'm just kidding. I made it a game. Okay?
We could go on a second date if you get enough points.
Yeah. No. So anyway, you got to have a conversation. And one of the reasons that I kind of started hitting on that specifically and brought up that story about trying to teach people, made it a game. They were young enough, of course, where you made it a game, you gave them points. They were like, this is the coolest thing ever. And we played the game for, 20, 30 minutes of this car ride. And I started having these long conversations. And again, some of the students, I would be like, what'd you have for breakfast? I had this. What'd you have for breakfast? I did this thing yesterday. What did you do? And then they would just ask the same question back, but it forced them to keep talking. Some of them like tongue tied, bro. They like couldn't talk. They like had, and I was like, go, great game. Communication skills is why I brought it up. I saw this. Mm-hmm. Communication skills are often crucial. How do you work on improving your ability to express yourself and engage with others?
Self-reflecting. And reading's good. Or like podcasts or stuff about stuff. Just like researching. First, reflect. Understand what your problem is. And then
can you be a little more specific with communication? Because you're being very broad. Mm. You said listen to a podcast about what?
About freaking communicating.
Did you watch a podcast about a communication?
I think I have. Not recently, but
well, so that's what I'm saying. What did you do? Make it personal.
I've done that though.
Oh.
When I want to improve on stuff,
you'll research it in general.
First of all, you have to acknowledge that you want to improve on something. So that is the reflecting.
Self-reflection, yeah.
And then the best way to start for me, because I have social anxiety and fear of starting new things, the easiest, simplest, readily available thing is to just look it up. Find a video about it.
But what did you do? Be more specific. What did you do? You were someone that really didn't talk to many people, and now you talk to everybody.
I didn't do stuff like that for that problem because.
But you had to. You did something. But you did something. Can you tell us what you did? Can you?
What I did, well, like I'm saying, I'm trying to do applicable things that I've done recently to work on stuff, because what I did back then is see you every week and have you be like, can you communicate? Can you answer this question? Blah, blah, blah. And that's like,
so I just spoke a bunch and tried to get you to talk.
So, I guess the takeaway is to have a mentor or somebody that's going to pull you on to good things.
Right. And that's the difficult thing.
But that's also a difficult thing to ask people to do.
Well, it's difficult. And not only, it's even more difficult in our situation, because then, as we got older, then we're dating and now we're married and stuff. And you don't want this. You don't want a mentor-mentee marriage thing. It's a horrible setup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That horrendous.
But no lie that is how it started between us.
I would look back and say that was not the most positive makeup, but it resulted in good stuff. But obviously, I would not recommend people do that. If somebody's having a problem, to have like your person you like be a part of. They can be a part of it, but be the main solution is just like
age and when and where. And there's so much
and we are
more.
Also very young.
Yeah,
but
so much more goes into that.
At the beginning of stuff, I didn't even care too much to improve on the aspect, except to get closer to you.
Well, so I'm trying to. That's it.
That's how it started. Yeah.
But can
somebody
you go
has a
back
crush
and
on me and they're asking me to talk? I don't care to talk to other people. I'm just gonna work on it when I'm with you because
Someone has a
that's
crush
what I
on
want.
you and they ask you to talk, or you had a crush on me? Okay.
Huh?
Let's get more specific
It
here.
was mutual, and we both know this. So don't even try and shade me like
no, I'm
that.
not at all. I'm not at all trying to shade. I was saying you made it sound you didn't like me?
Oh, is that what I said?
Well, you just said he has a crush on me and so I want to talk to him.
I thought I said the opposite. I thought you
Oh.
meant somebody I have a crush on.
Oh, I don't think that's what you
I
said.
think. Oh, well, that's.
But
Right.
it's
that might have been what I.
well,
intended
obviously, I
to
was
say.
kind of joking because I know, of course, we know the story.
But anyway, so it's hard for me in the narrow aspect of like communication trouble to say what to do because the main thing I did was just be with somebody who's
But you could have
aggressive extrovert and
Right.
who loves to help people with stuff.
Careful with the word aggressive. Kind of maybe describe.
Aggressive extrovert, that's fine
No,
to
that
say.
is fine. I'm
And somebody
aggressively
who likes
extrovert.
to improve themselves and others.
Yeah.
So like I can't tell people to go find somebody like that. And for somebody,
why not? Okay, why couldn't
I
they do
can,
that?
which I did, which was saying a mentor is great
okay,
help.
Okay, yeah.
But it's very difficult because somebody who struggles with communicating isn't going to be like, you know what I should do? Find this person that's going to
Talk to
meet
them.
and talk to me every week.
That is
That's
what's hard.
a
People have
horrendously
to,
scary thing
someone
to
would
do.
have to come and find you.
Exactly. Or you have to
And that's,
already be working on
that's
it
what
enough
happened to
to
us.
go out and do something
And that's what
scary.
happened to us.
Yeah.
Is
But that's why I'm saying
stumbled upon
what
it.
I now think is a good first step that's not going to terrify people is literally they're on their
Look it
phone
up, yeah.
anyway. Just look
Well,
up a
we have to
video
go-
or a
let's
book.
but let's also go a little farther back then, and we at the time you being young saying that you had this difficulty, it's really then on the parents. They should have been helping you. They should have been saying hey, talk with this person, interact with this person.
And here's the
now I'm
thing.
not saying that your parents didn't do that. I'm not saying that, but you were also, I mean, at the age you were at the time, you were also probably like, even if they told you to do it, you were like, I ain't doing that.
And here's what I'm about to say. I'm the youngest of 7. Just they're gonna have less energy. They're gonna
Your
have
parents-
less
your
time
parents
to
were older.
spend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they didn't do that with you. Is that what you're saying?
They didn't when I was young, and just like the homeschool group we were in was reaching its end
Right. It was
toward when
winding
I was in
down.
school. So there was
And they
less
did actually close.
there was less groups to be at, and also the older kids are in college and high school and doing other stuff. So just I wasn't a part. Me and my sister, who were at the end of the kids, didn't do as much like groups and activities and stuff.
Right.
So that wasn't there because that's just the natural flow usually.
Now let me
and
pause
that's
real quick
fine.
and enter in real quick. The reason we met is that her parents signed her up for a class that I was teaching.
That's
so there,
true.
so there is no big
Anyway,
diss. We're
Don't
very
get into that.
we're
That's too long of a.
Well, we're not. We don't have to get into all of it. But I'm saying I'm sitting here saying, and we are agreeing that we felt like your parents didn't do enough with you to try to have.
I
these
know, but let me
conversations.
finish my thought.
But
Ah!
they entered you into this homeschool group thing that I was doing,
Correct.
and
But
that's how we
anyways,
met.
Yes, they did less
They did do less
things that would have helped me.
Yes.
Not intentionally, just life and the ability
Yeah, I
to
never said it intentionally.
juggle all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then me and my sister would be like, "Oh, we're boring. We don't have any friends." Blah, blah, blah." And
You
then
would say that actively to each other.
Yes.
You knew there was an
and to
issue.
my mom, who was
Okay.
with us all the time because she was homeschooling us.
Sure.
And then she tried to change it. But again, the age that we were then at, we were teenagers
Nothing
and we
was cool.
didn't want to do anything.
Right.
She entered us into several groups. We went for a couple weeks and we complained about it.
So it was your
We
fault.
complained about
Again.
not having friends, and then
Right.
she put us
So
in
the
a couple
problem-
groups, and we complained that the people in the groups were weird, or we didn't want to go, and she was like, "Fine."
So the problem
So
isn't
by
the
the
problem,
time-
it's your attitude.
By the
towards
time we expressed the issue,
Too late.
we didn't want the solution.
It's very sad.
So,
Another great reflection, though.
so that's why the older I get, the less like things from childhood I'm like, "Oh, my parents, my family, they should have helped," and the more I'm like,
Oh
I
no,
didn't want that
100%.
also.
Oh,
You have to want to be helped, and
Yeah.
people have to help.
No, 100%. You're a little kid. Your parents
Could
do
they
everything
have
for
just
you.
said, "Shut up, you're going to stay in the group"? Yes. And she
Right.
didn't. She let us
Right.
go
And-
a couple
and you-
times and then
right.
was like, "Okay,
And
fine.
there's a
You don't
little
like
bit
it?
of back-
Whatever."
There's a little bit of back and forth there. Reflecting on it is what, of course, is important.
But also the other hard thing is my mom is similar to me. She is not
Right.
very extroverted. She's very good when she has a friend and she feels comfortable. She'll talk for hours on end,
Right.
but she's not super comfortable in situations she doesn't know or with people she doesn't know.
Right.
So
That made it
She's not,
difficult.
yeah, she's not going
To
to push me to
a
do that
parent-
when
a
she
parent-
sees herself in me. She's going to be like, it's
Right.
okay.
A parent and a kid with the same demeanor and attitude, and something that you have expressly said is a more negative trait. You both have it. Clearly, there's not going to be some sort of big, huge, there has to be someone else involved. But then I don't have an issue saying it. I would still follow up with, then it's on the parent to go out of their comfort zone before you do.
Yeah.
It's up to the parent to then say, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm not saying it's easy. There's a lot more to the story. We're not going into all of it right
And
this
I
second.
feel like the main issue with people is that
Right.
they're around people with the same issue, or
Right.
they're around people that, because it's very
Right.
popular these days to just be like, oh yeah, do what you want.
Right.
Do what makes you feel happy.
And obviously,
So people don't want to do things
Yes.
they are uncomfortable
Yes.
with. Even
And-
if they know it's something that they want to do,
yes.
they don't want to go out of the comfort zone, and people don't want to push other people to that
And
because they're
obviously-
like, oh, we'll offend them.
And obviously this is extremely nuanced, and we don't want to simplify anything too much, but everything is simplified when you try to express it in a thing that can be digestible. But many more things go into it. You might not even had parents around. Your parents might have been really bad people. I don't know. I don't want to speak into someone's situation and upset them and say, well, you're saying to do these things. In a general situation, a lot of times you have a kid who's teenager, they're getting a little bit older, they don't want to listen to their parents, even though the parents are having good things to say. Not always.
Yeah, even
But
if
often.
you have a perfect parent,
Right.
a teenage kid is probably going to react
That's
badly.
that's exactly what I'm saying. So what I think we've
and
hit on,
again, not necessarily their fault. They're going through changes. They're trying to understand new emotions
True.
and things. They're growing. They're learning.
So
they're
I don't want
developing.
to be so wishy-washy and sound like I don't have a stance on anything, but I also don't want to speak super distinctly to a nuanced situation. Generally and often, and this is a feeling that I have and that I do hold, is that the parents have good information and the kids are not listening to it. That is an opinion that I would generally hold to and say has truth behind
Which
it.
makes sense because age,
Right.
you
Right.
obviously just know more
And
things.
so Esther even said herself, a parent that wasn't even interested in doing these more introverted things tried to get them to go to things when they asked, and then the kids were like, screw this, even though they asked for it. So obviously that's more on them at that point, and the parent did try, right? Not every situation is the same, but what we've really hit on here is a couple of really great things, which is attitudes towards problems are more of an issue than the problem themselves. Also somewhat nuanced, but I do like that phrase. Needing help to get out of certain mindsets and the person you find. And it might not even be the perfect person. We even specifically sat here and said that the situation that we ended up finding ourselves in wasn't perfect, but a good outcome came. The Lord can work everything together for good. So this is very important to notice that and realize that you also don't need it to be perfect for it to work. Oh, this person's a little rude. This person's a little mean. This person's a little too quiet. This person's a little too introverted. I don't want to interact with them. Now, I was someone that just went around and did anything and everything. But Esther sticking around with someone that was so extroverted and so crazy and always, I was very needy. I wanted a lot of things. I was like, I want all this stuff. That was also huge kudos on her part for also sticking around that sort of person, right? So both people are very important for this transaction, for this interaction. And so we are specifically kind of hitting on, you have a certain attitude that you don't like, but you're not going to work on it that's how you already are. So how are you going to work on it then? It's even specifically more difficult when you're introverted, trying to be a little more extroverted and timid. So that's a difficult mixture, but you got to find someone to help you do it. And if you're so young and it's happening at such an early age, I feel like the parent should step in and help a little bit. But if it's happening as you keep getting older, it becomes your fault. And that was the issue that I had with you for a while. Cause then it's like, okay, well now you're older. Come on now, like this, no, it doesn't, all these other people and things and boo-hoo, it doesn't really matter. It comes down to who you are as a person now. And if you want to work on it, deal with it. And that's why then I was like, get around different people, interact with these type of people, talk to these type of people, reach out. I would plan things. I would plan things with other married people or other couples and be like, okay, now there's 4 of us. It's a small enough group, but there's a girl, there's a guy. Like I would plan stuff and then we would go from there. So anyway, we've talked about a lot of stuff. As we wrap up, can you reflect on the transformation you've undergone and share the impact it has had on your life? As we wrap up, can you reflect on the
Yeah.
transformation you've undergone? Would have you had a transformation?
Yes, and I was.
Have you had a
I
drastic
was.
transformation that's easy to see by even outside people?
I was hesitant to answer that because I was thinking of the current one that we're in, which is fitness, and I was like,
Oh.
it hasn't been that long. I don't know if I've transformed, but
Sure.
now if we're talking about like just overall talking about my introvertedness, then that is a transformation.
Not just
that's
introvertedness, because
been a
again, I
long
don't
time,
want to
man.
harp on. I don't. Let's use that word a little bit less because I don't want to harp on being introverted, which we were
Yeah,
we were
true.
kind of specific with. Just you personally, take out all the words and use all new ones if you want. But
That's
I
what
guess
we need to do.
I got to break this down a little bit, which is, have you gone on a transformation? You said yes.
Yes.
Has that transformation had an impact on your life?
I mean, yes. I feel
Positive
like
or negative?
positive. The
Okay,
word
so now can you
transformation
speak on-
obviously would have to have an impact.
So now
otherwise it
can you
wouldn't be a
speak on?
transformation.
So now can you speak on the positiveness of it and the change? You can. I won't say at length this time. I do like it at length, but you can just give us a short. We've been speaking about it for an hour, so
Yes, correct. It was positive.
we already did that. I broke it down for you.
I know, but I'm
You
moving
could have
it a
broken
little
it down,
bit.
but you were.
I
Going
have a very
slow.
hard time because I feel like you make things difficult. You ask me a question,
Well, I
and
even
then-
simplified it for you.
and then if I try and like not apply it to myself and just like give like insight on
want
it,
it-
you're like, wait, but like, what's your experience? And
We
then if I
wanna
answer
apply.
it like to myself, sometimes you're like, oh wait, just like make it more broad.
Okay. I mean, I could have.
Because remember, I was just
Mhm.
answering something like start with reading and podcasts and stuff, and you're like,
Oh, right,
wait, but
right,
what's your experience?
Well,
and then now you're
I-
like, don't give me your
I tried
experience.
to. Sure, I tried to pay attention and re-ask you the question twice, so you liked that. But then just leave it at that. Don't. Just let you just.
I don't know. I was
Okay.
just saying my struggle out.
No, I just
loud
wanna
to
help you.
because
I-
I am not.
Well, not help
entirely
you. I want to
I'm
make
bad
sure
at
I'm doing it.
Concluding
I want to make
statements.
sure I'm doing it in a way that's helpful to you. That's why I asked.
Right.
So anyway,
It is helpful to reread if I
Okay,
can't
good.
see it in front of me, and it is helpful to give direction. But
Okay.
sometimes your direction is confusing to me. Anyway, so
True.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll ask you one more time.
Oh
As we
my!
wrap up, can you reflect on the transformation you've undergone and share the impact it's had on your life?
I mean, it's been transformational.
Dang. Go ahead.
And it's good. And I feel like you should be looking to transform a part of your life always. If you overcome something and transform it, look for the next thing that you
Right.
need to work on.
Right. So you've
Which
had a
is that-
transformation and you liked it, and so
Yes.
continue doing it.
First of
That's
all,
the closing
continue
statement.
doing it because you can backtrack. Because
Yes,
a lot of
very
times
easily.
I've thought, oh, I talked to this person I don't know. Oh, I did blah, blah, blah.
And then you never.
I'm awesome
Talk
at
to them
that
again.
now. And then either that or just I think, oh yeah, cool, I worked on that. I got better. And then I think I can stop working on it. So I go to some group and I'm like, oh, last group I was at, I talked to a heck of people.
So I'm just not gonna
So
do it the
I
same.
just did that already.
Dang.
I don't need to do it again.
Dang.
But you need to keep working on the things
I've done
that
that
you
for
work
sure.
on. But then also, if you get to a point where it's like not a struggle anymore,
something else.
what is a problem? Because you're always going to have a problem,
Right.
or not necessarily a problem. You're always going to
What
have
could you do
something
better
that
at?
can be improved.
Right.
And it's
Right.
very hard
No, that's
to
good.
want to evaluate yourself and work on the
Right.
negative, because a lot of time, if you have positive stuff, you just say, whatever, I'm already go to the gym, so I'll just keep focusing on that. But I'm sure there's another part of your life
Balance.
that needs work.
Everything
So
in
you
moderation.
can't just pick one thing that you worked on and be like, this is the thing that I work on now, and I'm gonna get so good. That's great, but you can't neglect the rest of your life.
We are wrapping up with this, but one thing that she said, I just wanted to comment: balance and everything in moderation. Because I see some people at the gym, and it's like clearly they go there a lot. Clearly they're very good at it.
Mhm.
I respect them. I respect them for that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope that this isn't the only thing that they're doing, and I hope they're not neglecting something else to do this, because they're obviously so enhanced and advanced in it, like you from their body. I mean, you see these huge guys, and it's like that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. I hope that there's a balance and a general using of that thought process towards other things. And we'll hit on that more. So you'll have to come back and watch for us to talk about having a balance and everything in moderation. So thank you very much, and we will see you guys next time.